In 1949, my grandfather Patrick Farrader, moved to America. He came at the young age of 22 looking for opportunity. He had lived in Kerry, Ireland, and came from a family of 12. They had lived on a farm, and he did not like the work. Before he had come to America, my Auntie Helen had moved. She explained to him that she simply loved America, and there was a ton of opportunity. In 1952, my grandmother, Bridget Flanagan, moved to America. She had lived in Waterford and was from a family of 4. She was the first to move over at the young age of 16. She was reluctant to give up her life in Waterford, but her parents had made her. Eventually, 3 of my grandfather's siblings had moved to Chicago, and my grandmother's brother, or my great-uncle Mike, had moved to Chicago as well. In 1957, my grandparents got married. My grandfather had worked for a plumbing company for the city of Chicago. They first lived at 91st and Marshfield, and eventually moved to Market Park, where my grandmother still resides today. The couple had 10 children, my mother Sheila Farrader being one of them. My grandfather died in 1993. Approximately 100 years prior to my grandparents' big move, there was an epidemic happening in Ireland. This epidemic was called the Great Irish Potato Famine. During the 1940s, potato blight had hit Europe. Potato blight can affect tomatoes as well. Potato blight causes gray spots on the potatoes and causes them to be water-soaked. After the potatoes become a dark brown color and enlarge, this causes the potatoes to be inconsumable. Ireland was hit hard by the potato famine. Nearly 2/5 of their population was dependent on potatoes for a main source of food. Potatoes were a cheap crop to consume. Ireland lost nearly 25% of their population. Nearly 1 million people had died, while another million had immigrated. America had a high influx of Irish immigrants at the time. These immigrants were looking for a new life. To start this new life, they needed new jobs. Many immigrants had gone to places like New York City, Boston, Baltimore, and Philadelphia, and by 1950, the Irish had made up a quarter of the population. The famine ended up being a rallying point for Irish independence. At the time, Ireland was part of the United Kingdom. However, Irish relations with the United Kingdom became different. In 1922, the Republic of Ireland became independent after a civil war.